So
tomorrow.
Season 2 drops.
27th.
That's too long. Welcome to Monster Vlogs. I'm Charlie.
I'm Haley.
And
we just watched the season finale of Stranger Things.
Chapter 8, The Upside Down.
And all the things happened.
Like, where do we start?
Well, let's separate by storylines like we have been doing. Let's start with Twin Peaks.
So Hopper and
Joyce
go into the Upside Down in the hazmat suits to find Will. They do. He's got like this weird slug thing coming out of his...
Interspersed with flashbacks of when Hopper lost his daughter. Which just like, let's turn that screw just a bit more. All the eye water comes out.
Yep. And it was an arc that I was expecting because they set it up pretty well throughout the entire series.
It's implied for the entire series, and then they just hit it.
Hit it again. Like full bore, full force. Just
they hit it on the head, on the neck, on the spine,
just
on the coccyx.
On the Stand By Me side. Well, actually, let's go to the Elm Street side
for a bit. The redemption of Steve.
Because he comes in all bloody, like, I want to talk to you. What's going on? What the hell is going on?
And then he comes in on the House of Crazy that is the buyer's residence that has become, because we've got the light Ouija board, we've got the Christmas lights everywhere, we got the bear trap, middle of the hallway. Nancy's got a gun. We got Lucille hanging out.
Like Jonathan's wielding Lucille and
the baseball bat with nails in it.
Yeah, I know.
Can the baseball bat do that? Because has that been myth busted, or would the baseball bat fall apart without that many?
I don't know.
The wood just splinter off.
I don't know. I'm sure like the exit point would start splintering off.
Yeah.
But I mean, at some point, I mean, it's a baseball bat. It's sturdy enough, but who knows?
The good ones are.
But yeah, like Steve actually pulls his weight.
and so Steve comes back in like, I want to talk. I want to make things right. He sees all the crazy, and then the crap actually hits the fan. He sees the Demogorgon. They all run in the room, and like, oh crap, they'll hide in the back bedroom. Demogorgon disappears, and the Steve faffs off, as everyone expected him to do, and then he comes back!
Demogorgon comes back.
He like sees the lights from outside, and you like there's a really good lean in on his face as he's like mentally making that decision. He's like, oh, do I want to go back? Do I want to go back? I have to go back.
But the fact that he's kind of now a good guy, like and you know, comes back and wields the bat, like pushing the Demogorgon into the bear trap.
Yeah,
that was a really amazing teamwork scene.
Like Nancy's got the gun, Steve's got the bat, because he actually has lacrosse experience.
Oh yeah.
So he knows how to swing it, and then Jonathan's got the lighter, so you're gonna set the monkey feather on fire.
And it worked.
And then that Demogorgon is disabled for the rest of the thing. Like, I don't know how well you can actually kill it if you aren't an MK Ultra, but it, like, you at the end you saw it was messed up for the rest of the episode.
But was that the same one? Because in the Upside Down, they come across like this hatched egg.
It was the same one because it had like the boiled skin kind of look.
Okay.
It looked very different from all the scenes we'd seen with the Demogorgon beforehand. It had very smooth, like scaly skin. This had literally boiled skin that happens when you get caught on fire.
I mean, because they did imply that there were more than one with that hatched egg. They implied that
there was more than one beastie out there.
Yeah.
If they looked like Demogorgons or not, that remains to be seen. There don't seem to be any Demogorgon monsters in the trailer for season 2, but they might be.
Well, there are those sky things,
keeping their cards close to their chest.
Yeah.
The mist spiders, as it were. Like,
Yeah, you are you prepared for that? Spiders.
Maybe.
Spiders.
Maybe I don't like spiders. Stop it. Stop it. I really like that hero shot at the end of like Nancy flanked by the two guys. Steve's got like the baseball bat slung on his shoulder. Like, yeah, we did this thing. We did it.
we beat the nightmare creature.
But
ultimately, the nightmare creature isn't bested, especially with a wrist rocket. Bless their hearts. The Stand By Me side.
The cops had, the MPs had machine guns. They had AR-15s. What was a little slingshot gonna do? I forgot if they did this on the first run through, and I kept hoping for like the Demogorgon to open his flower face and the wrist rocket to get a rock right in the hole. Yeah, I wanted that to happen.
I think they implied that did happen, but that with Elle like pushing it toward the chalkboard, and holy crap, that like slow-mo her like cornering the Demogorgon.
Yeah.
Like bloodshot eyes, ears, nose bleeding, like eyes,
like she
lights
looked like
flickering.
A walking corpse at that point, because she had just done the sensory deprivation tank, and then she just taken out all the half the MPs and the Margaret Thatcher looking lady that was mean for the entire series.
And the Demogorgon gets
that was a satisfying.
He gets David
don't
Cronenberg, yeah.
You cheered.
Yeah.
And that was right after a scene where Elle reached for Mike rather than him, so he knows he was wrong when he died, which I prefer. Yes, kick him when he's down. Kick him when he's down. He's a bastard.
But of course, this does do the thing of like, oh, we're gonna be best friends together and be best friends forever, and then nope.
Just like E.T.
Yeah, just like E.T., especially when he was getting emotionally attached to her, like to the point where, young love.
First love.
Like, oh, I take you to the ball. There's gonna be a bed. Oh, so I'm gonna be your sister.
It's not. Smooch.
Yeah, that's basically like, yeah, kiss.
It ended on a sweet note for them, I thought.
It did.
Bittersweet, but there was some sweet in there.
Yeah, because they do another campaign.
Because Elle's defeat of the Demogorgon comes at the expense of her existing on this dimension.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the denouement. Because it does kind of say that this is the new normal, but it settles fine within the town.
Yeah,
sort of thing. Like they have a successful D&D campaign.
Hopper goes to talk with the
He talks to
G-Man.
G-Man. The
like,
hospital.
all right, we're cool. You said that you're not going to mention this at all, right?
We cool.
But I like that his arc is like still kind of taking care of 11 through that little box he left.
It's a hunter's blind.
Yeah.
You know what hunter's blind is, right? Okay. You didn't grow up with hunters, so just making sure.
Yeah, it's a little care package thing that you leave like out in the woods just in case you
or any other people need it while you're hunting. Way to leave some echoes in it.
Yeah.
I had those Tupperwares growing up.
I had those Tupperwares growing up.
I think everyone had those Tupperwares growing up. Can we talk about the 80s Christmas aesthetic? Because the 80s Christmas aesthetic is kind of the aesthetic that I grew up with.
It was so Christmas. Yellow.
All
the tungsten.
The fruitcakes.
The fruitcakes, the Ataris wrapped up in boxes.
You weren't there for the Ataris.
No, but I was there for the NES, and I don't even think I got the NES for Christmas. I got an NES for Christmas.
Lance got an NES for Christmas. I got Barbies.
I got a top loader.
Also, Nancy and Steve get Jonathan a new camera.
I'm wondering if, I don't necessarily think it's from Nancy. I think it's from Steve.
Yeah, I think it's from Steve, but he felt awkward giving it to Jonathan, so he and Nancy conspired to do it together. I kind of like that Nancy still ended up with Steve. Because I will say there was not a lot of chemistry on Nancy's part with Jonathan. I'm not sure about Jonathan because, like, being disaffected and shy is kind of his thing. So,
yes.
So I liked that they had more of a kind of brethren in arms connection rather than a romantic connection. Now, this might change in the second season, but it would have it has room to change in the second season, I say.
There's room to change in the second season, and also, like, but at
Steve
the same time,
is still
the way
a fundamentally good guy, and Nancy is okay for choosing him.
Yes,
Mama, I like what she likes.
Still the whole, like, hey, I came to your rescue, and you...
Does that mean she owes him a relationship, though?
I don't know. Like, but
No.
I'm talking about Steve. Steve
Okay.
came to the rescue, and she still ended up with Steve.
Okay, I
That's
thought
what
you were
I
talking
mean.
about-
I'm not talking about Jonathan.
Okay.
If anything, they should end up together because they went through more shit together.
That doesn't mean that you automatically have more of a connection
No,
with someone.
but I mean, if you have that, like, base level, like, connection, you could splinter off from there. Maybe it could work, maybe it couldn't. I'm probably cutting this, but...
But it could work with Steve either way, too. Because, like I said, Steve is a fundamentally decent person. He kicked his asshole friends out. The three of them look like they could be a nice friend group together, having had that experience.
True. Like, they can have, like, the night... They're the Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I like, because, you know, you expect Steve to just fall off the face of the earth and Nancy to end up with Jonathan. That it subverts an expectation, and I like that it opens up for Steve to grow and be in the new season.
And, you know, room to grow, possibly to screw up so she can end up with Jonathan. I'm
Or maybe...
shipping Nancy and Jonathan hardcore.
That's okay. That does not mean Steve and Nancy have to crash and burn. They can end amicably.
True. Or Steve could die.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen.
Jonathan could die. Anybody on the
my
show
God.
can die.
This is no holds barred kind of show.
Yeah, because we see that, you know, Will coughs up a slug from the Upside Down, and it just automatically flashes to Upside Down world, so he's the Shadow Walker now? I mean, up until this point, I didn't want to mention anything from the Season 2, like, Comic-Con trailer that was released.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he can, like, not at will, but,
Well, that he does see both sides.
like, simultaneous,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Like, he's going to be the main connection to the Upside Down, whereas 11 was for this season.
Yeah. And 11 comes back, and maybe, I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Tomorrow.
So we went over the finale. What are your overall opinions of Stranger Things Season 1?
I like it. I want more. Give me more. I want all of it. More. And after that's done, then I can gear up for Last Jedi, because that trailer dropped today, as of this recording. So,
Do you have any more complex thoughts than that? Or do you feel like it was too reliant on nostalgia? Because I've heard those critiques of Stranger Things.
in terms of aesthetic, it's possible. Next season will definitely ramp that up more, because
84 was much more of a
84 was
year.
a huge pop culture year. You had like New Coke coming out, which okay, and then you had Nightmare on Elm Street finally coming out. You had Ghostbusters hitting the scene. You had Terminator hitting the scene that same year. So you just had like all of pop culture essentially descend upon this 1 year.
Would you say 84 was like a beginning of the change into the 80s?
Yes.
As far as pop culture goes, as opposed to just the late 70s?
Yes, absolutely. Because that's when like all the neon started showing up.
I mean, I don't think it was too blinded by, or like it had too many Easter eggs or too much nostalgia factor. I think that it worked a lot to show like 80s archetypes and then intentionally either go further or subvert them.
Mm-hmm. And it did.
And it kind of like we rag on Nightmares of Red, White, and Blue for its Reagan obsession all the time, but this does kind of have this closer examination of the sort of projected view of the 80s family design. Like, it examines that and examines how culture kind of failed different families, like people who had lost children like Hopper, or broken families like the Byers.
Because this was the...
And it did it without being preachy.
Yeah, this was the decade of excess. It was the decade of, like, trying to go back to the 50s.
Every other background conversation was about the Russians. Did you notice that? Like, there was a lot of fear of a nebulous other, while you should be afraid of something that comes from within. Something that you'd never expected. Like I said, it takes that kind of closer examination of the failings of family culture, specifically in the 80s, without going too far and using the nostalgia genre to say that. That's why I like that deeper end of the swimming pool there. I will say, the thing that I thought the most after I finished this for the first time, I am glad that season 2 is a continuation of the story, but I would have really loved an anthology type series of Stranger Things, where this one was just Stranger Things takes on Labyrinth, please.
Yeah.
Let's have nostalgia from my childhood, please.
I mean, if we're following, if every season is a new year, then this was 83, next season's 84, season 3 is going to be 85, season 4 could be 86.
When did Legend come out?
1985. So we're going to see that in about season 3-ish.
The 85, 86 kind of... I'm just saying, that's a goldmine of narrative that only fanfic authors have previously touched. And so if someone with a budget did that, I would be very happy.
I mean, 11 is about the same age. She's on par about this. She's on pace
Sarah's
to be the same
15
age.
in the events of Labyrinth.
12. 11 is 12 essentially in this. Yeah, 12. She was gone for 12 years. Or her mother had the whole room set up for like 12 years. So let's just say 11 is 12. Confusing, I know. So 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so about 1985 she'll hit Sarah's age.
Yeah.
If they continue to go this route. If it continues after season 2. Even if they do a season 3. Who knows?
Or they could just do an anthology series. This one was mostly sci-fi and horror. Next one could be fantasy and horror.
I think it's still going to be sci-fi, like sci-fi horror.
Miss now.
I know.
Even though,
but they do have the fantasy aspects in there with the kids'
there
D&D campaigns, but...
There is. It's just...
But, I don't know, by the time that season drops, the kids will be older, and, they'll write them older, and then maybe have them start losing interest in those things, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah.
It's all up in the air.
But yeah, thank you for watching us ramble on about season 1 of Stranger Things. It has been a ride. Oh boy. And yeah, surprised I didn't touch on this sooner. Yeah, so thank you for watching us ramble about season 1 of Stranger Things. We will definitely be back for season 2, maybe not on an episode by episode basis.
Maybe like split into 2 or 3 parts.
Maybe 2 or 3 parts.
However long it takes us to binge.
Yeah. And there's going to be more things to come. We still have 3 videos on the failed attempts at a dark universe to come. Those will be on the way very shortly. And some other stuff is coming on the other channels as well. So subscribe to all this stuff and this one as well. And yeah, we'll see you in the next stuff. Subscribe, like, share, comment, Patreon, all that good stuff. Bye.
Bye-bye.